Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for the privilege of your time. My name is Edward Pereira. My co-host is Attila Hevesy. We are the support network as to what you're going to see with Crypto Casey. We thank you, Crypto Casey, for allowing us to share some knowledge with your audience. And then you're going to get an opportunity to meet and the real live press the flesh, Mr. Ed Barsano, who to me is the Einstein of today with mixing technology and finance, and you'll understand why. So put your questions in the Q&A as we go along. We're going to have about a 45-minute presentation, maybe a little shorter than that, and then we're going to transition into Q&A. But before we get started and I introduce everybody, let me set some expectations. Um, uh, Again, my name is Edward Pereira. One of the things that I bring to the table is I spent in and for 3+ decades in the government system, or as I like to call it, the matrix. No conspiracy theory, just I had the privilege of being exposed to knowledge that most people never see. That is how the government works, what your finances look like, how the government structured for the whole financial base, which, as you know, without me telling you any secrets, if you will, that it's generally not stacked in your favor. However, what you're going to see today is something that defies logic, defies gravity, and with that, I'm going to show you a screen with some expectations. Make sure that I've got the right one. Uh,
We can
there
just look at our national debt to see how our government works.
All right, we could certainly get a lot more detailed, but there are tips and tricks that most people don't know, and that's part of the value that we look to deliver to you every time you're exposed to us. So it's a little wordy, but pay attention because these are things that really make are important in your life or should be important in your life. What you can expect today is automation, right? Set it, forget it. Hard to believe, but that's what it is. Cash flow. There aren't many opportunities in on this planet unless you've got a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of real estate, or a whole bunch of stock to generate cash flow. In this case, this removes all the bumps and bruises. There's really no effort. Well, not really. There is no effort to it. What you're going to see is how rule-based automation removes emotion from investing. Prop, uh, Proper money management and emotion ruins 99% of the people in the marketplace. This takes that away. Two, why the crypto market's 4-year decline. This is amazing. Pay attention to this because we'll talk about it during the presentation as well. Why a 4-year market decline may actually be the opportunity to implement an automated strategy and produce results during a down market as much as an up market. And I know if this is the first time you're hearing this, you're going, what? But it really does work. Let me pause for a second before I get to number three. What you're going to see today is factual based, verifiable information. I talk about it in the last bullet point, but three, you're going to see a platform that gives you complete control and maximizes the security. Where do you lose money in crypto? Where do you lose money investing when you don't control your funds? This allows you 100% control of your funds. You are the driver of the destiny of your financial future. For the results, are good. You're going to see real accounts. You're going to see a demonstration from me or real live accounts from the creator of this beautiful platform, Mr. Ed Barsano. And you're going to see that the results are because everything works in your favor 24/7, 365. It doesn't take any time off. So you're hiring somebody that is a life trader that sits in your basement. If you don't have a basement, sits in your next room, but you don't have to pay them. You don't have to feed them. You don't have to pay their insurance. You're gonna realize that the expectations are real. We're going to show you real results. 25-year track record of never selling a loss and successful trading without you having to be an expert on anything but being able to push a button, log into your account, and turn your computer on. That's it. It's not theory. It's live trading activity, real data, and verifiable results. So with that, I've got to take you to the next screen, which is You're here for educational purposes and informational purposes only. We are not financial, tax, legal, divorce, marriage, counseling. We're not any of that. We are here.
However,
The
we have
three,
opinions about all of that.
well, we do, but not that's not why we're here. But if you look at the three of us, if you add up my financial and government experience, Mr. Heveshy's 40 years of experience, Mr. Barsano's 50 years of experience in his trade, you have well over 100 years of knowledge that is focused into serving you. So, excuse me. With that, I'm not going to read these questions, just absorb them because they talk about what I talked about on the first slide. It works. It really does work. Again, put your what ifs or questions in the chat. You're going to see the real people with real results, unprompted by us, will be able to answer those questions. So with that, let me turn it over to my great friend Attila Heveshy, and he'll give you a little bit of background, and then we'll take you into who this genius is, Mr. Barsano, and then we'll show you real live results.
Thank you, Edward. Good introduction. My job, folks, is to tell you a little backstory on how I met Mr. Barsano and a little bit about my background. So my background's all financial. I've been a financial planner. I've helped raise money for various projects, hedge funds, mining projects, so forth. I don't want to bore you with the details. Let's fast forward to September 2020. I had the opportunity to learn all I could about this space, and I took advantage of that because I missed the internet revolution, and I promised myself there's no way I'm missing this. So about gosh, it was 2012 when I met Mr. Barsano. But first, his background is such that he was in the Navy for 8 years. After the Navy, did some nuclear engineering for the government, and then got hired approximately 1985 at Microsoft, one of Bill Gates's first 350 hires. And he did very, very well there. Retired a young man after about 8.5 years of working there, less than 40 years of age, he retired. And fortunately for all of us and for him, he got slaughtered in the 2000 stock market crash. Now, why do I say fortunately? Because he took it upon himself. He felt like he really got robbed, and he took it upon himself to level the playing field, and he used his programming prowess to develop the world's first fully robotic autonomous stock market trading platform. So he launched it in 2001. Initially, he was giving it away, but then he started charging for it because he wanted feedback from the field and the people that owned it. And he perfected it to the point where I met him in 2012 through a mutual friend. I purchased that stock trader back in the day, and it worked really, really well. I was blown away. I always want to make money in the stock market, but I didn't want to learn how to trade or day trade. So, I actually helped him market it for a couple of years back then, but he went back to being solo. 2018, sold out to a hedge fund. And this story now advances to almost, well, exactly to the day, 23 months ago. I'm sitting at my desk, and now I'm at this point, I was 4 years in full time in blockchain, decentralized finance, crypto. And I said, I got a really nice crypto portfolio, but I'm a cash flow guy. I love cash flow. How do I just safely and securely keep earning more crypto on the crypto I already hold? Took me a full day, but Mr. Barsano's name popped in my head, and I called him on the cell phone. I still had his number. We spoke for 3 hours. And I said, Ed, did you indeed launch this? And he confirmed the hunch. He says, yes, in April of 21, I launched the cryptocurrency trader based on a lot of people requesting it. And many of them were former clients. And I said, that's great news. And he said, yeah, as soon as I turned this thing on, I realized it was light years ahead of the stock trader. And I asked him why. Four compelling reasons is what he gave me, and it's pretty interesting. Number one was the fact that he said, Attila, if you want to make big money in any kind of trading, you must absolutely have the most volatility that you could have. And there's no asset class with more volatility than crypto. And I agreed because I already knew that. Number two, he said the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto is 24/7, another big advantage. And I knew that as well. But number three and number four is what really got me. Number three, he said, look, it's not downloadable software anymore. It is web-based. And I didn't really know what that meant. So he said, look, if you buy the trader license again for the crypto trader, I can have you connected to your own exchange, crypto exchange, Kraken or Coinbase, in less than 10 minutes. And I remember the old days, it was not like that. It was definitely more tedious and cumbersome back then, probably a 90-minute setup. But here, I did pull the trigger and I bought the trader on the spot. And in about 8.5 minutes, he connected me live to my Coinbase account and I was trading live. That blew me away because I remember what it was like in 2012. Nothing like that. But folks, number four was the most important thing to me, and it should be to all of you, and that is safety and security of your funds. He said, Attila, I created an API connection so that the trader, which is just a tool, connects to your own Kraken, your own Coinbase account. So you and only you control your money. And I said, Ed, that's genius because that's the biggest problem in any new nascent space, especially an asset class like this that's rewiring global finance. You need to make sure your funds are safe. So they are 1000%. Okay. So with that, I said, Ed, we gotta bring this to the world and get the word out and help market this for you. And he said, yeah, let's rock and roll. So that's how we ended up meeting Casey. And that's as a result, we're all here. So like Edward said, we are the educational and the support system or support arm for Crypto Casey on behalf of the whole Go Baby Trade endeavor. Now, before I hand it back to Edward, I don't know, Edward, if you had anything else to share, but I do want to ask everybody to keep two things in the back of your mind or the front of your mind. And that is when we say set it and forget it today, we really mean it. There's no screen time necessary here. Once you go live, there's nothing really for you to do in order for the trader to make the kind of money and profits it's going to make for you. If you want to go on there and look at what it's doing once a day or 10 times a day, sure, you could do that. But you don't need to participate, which is huge. People don't have the time to do that, okay? Unless you're a full-time professional trader, but that's a life that is not for me. The second thing is please understand what Mr. Barsano has brought forth to the world. Very important. It's never been done before. Without any of you being a accredited investor, without anybody knowing anything about trading, without anybody knowing anything about crypto, you could now automate a portion of your financial life and make money in your sleep, literally. And it's Warren Buffett that said it best many years ago, 20 plus years ago. He said, look, if you're not making money in your sleep, you're going to work till you die. And I subscribe to that. I believe that's wholeheartedly true. So with that, Edward, is there anything else you wanted to add before I introduced Ed?
No, let's get to the man.
Okay.
He is the centerpiece of what he's created and how he has created an opportunity to serve everybody at the highest level. I mean, what's more important than what's the next most important thing to oxygen? Money, right? So
Oh, I thought the next important thing was me.
well,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's why I brought you up in the same sentence. But we'll at the end I'll jump back in and I'll show you some things on my side and actually, that'll answer a quick keep a question in your head about people always ask, how much money do I need to get started with, or what does this look like and why how does it make sense? Well, rest assured, we're going to walk you through all of that. Like I said, it's factually based, and you're going to see this is not staged. You're going to see things that are real. And if you choose to implement them in your life, great. We're here to serve you. So, Mr. Barsano, jump right in.
Cool. All right, for all you young folks out there, drink smart water. Um, the Attila mentioned four things that I said to him, and I was thinking while he was talking, well, I've got a five and a six that we didn't even talk
Fine.
about that I didn't mention. Number one, cryptos are partial lots. You can buy in partial lots. You don't have to, if in the stock market, if I wanted to buy Microsoft, I got to have $500 or whatever their price is now. And if I wanted to buy a second share, then I need another $500. In the crypto market, I could buy $20 worth of Microsoft if Microsoft was a crypto symbol. So that's a real big deal because then you can slice that up and spread it out and do all kinds of stuff. So the stock market has a lot of limitations with your money. The other thing is stock market rules. There are rules they have. The crypto market gets rid of those rules. They don't have an SEC day trader rule, where if you have less than 25,000, I don't know if some of you knew these rules existed in the stock market, but if you had less than $25,000, you couldn't execute more than 3 round trips in a 5-day period. A round trip is the buy and sell of the same coin on the same day. So if I bought Microsoft on one day and then sold it on the same day, that's 1 round trip. If I bought Intel on that same day, that's another, and then sold it on the same day, that's 2 round trips. I could only do 3 of those in a 5-day period. So, that was really limiting, to a guy that doesn't have $25,000. In the crypto market, you could do 150 trades in 5 days. So it gets rid of those rules. It also gets rid of I think there's a rule, what is that? I don't know, I don't remember what it's called right now, where you if you close a position today, you really can't open. If you close it at a loss, you can't count that loss. You can't buy it back for 30 days. That's
Hmm.
at the end of what's that called? I don't remember the rule, what it's
I don't
called.
either.
Some people call it, they're tax loss harvesting. At the end of the year, they sell everything off at a loss,
Wash
and then,
rule.
yeah, the
That's what it
wash
says.
rule. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what it's called. We don't have that in the crypto market. You could buy it all, you could sell all your losers right now and buy them all back 5 minutes later and realize all the losses. However, you don't need to do that because the exchange has been logging all of your sales using HIFO, highest in, first out. So if I bought a coin up here and then the price goes all the way down to the bottom and the auto trader buys it again and it goes up a little and then the auto trader sells this one profitably because say you bought it at 10 and it went to 1, then it went to 2. When we sell it at 2, we're actually selling the one we bought at 1 for a profit. But the exchange is logging it as a huge loss because they're saying you sold the one you bought at 10 at 2 for an $8 loss. Some of you, if you look at your 1099s, they have a 1099-DA now. If you go to your taxes under Coinbase, you're going to be surprised. I love it. I got a huge loss, man. I love it, and I took a fortune this year. So it's cool the way they're logging the losses or the trades. They're logging them as losses, but they're not really losses to us. We know we sold them at a profit. And a couple things I had out here. A couple of props I took out because I actually brought my wallet this time. Usually I don't have a wallet in the room where I'm doing a presentation. Here's my Coinbase Visa card. I live off this card. It's like the card that keeps on giving. Every time I use it, I say, that's what I say, the card that keeps on giving. It's just free money because the auto trader makes more money every month than I can spend. So this is like a magic card.
Well, don't we all wish for that problem?
And then this is the crazy dollar that I found on the street a month ago that I talk about in my presentations. It's all smashed up and everything, it's just this, and I put it in my wallet like a good luck charm. I always think about this dollar more than all the money I make in my auto trader because it's just the auto traders. It's boring. You already know it's going to make money. I already know it's going to make thousands of dollars a month. I don't have anything to think about. But this was exciting to find a dollar on the ground. It's always fun to find money on the ground.
Yeah. So Ed, next time when you come on, you're going to say you have to you what you stop you're going to hold up the dollar bill. You're going to go, but I found 85 cents.
Oh yeah, right. Because of inflation. Um, I can remember all the times I have found money on the ground in my whole life. That's how, I mean, if you think about it, that's how perviant, is that a word? Prevalent, or what is, I don't
Oh,
know. It's
prevalent.
prevalent, that is. that I sound like I don't know how to speak English. Um, but it's when you find money on the ground, it's way cool. I mean, I found a $5 bill when I was I think it was in eighth grade, and that was cool. It was stuck to a chain link fence, because the wind blew it there. And I still remember that. That was fun to find a $5 bill there. I found a 500 baht bill in one of those countries when I was in the Navy, Thailand or something on the ground. And that, as soon as I picked that up, I quickly did the math. I said, that is the equivalent of a $20 bill. That's cool. I still remember that. And then now I remember, finding this dollar. I put it in my wallet for good luck. My good luck dollar.
Yeah, I know
Anyways,
we've talked about this before. So if that were the case, you walked out your front door every day and you look down and there's a $20 bill.
well, you do. When
Right?
you find money on the ground, you start walking with your head down. If you found money on the ground 3 days in a row, you would be walking with your head down looking
Right.
for more money.
But that was
Yeah.
a setup. The good news is you don't have to walk around with your head down. You walk around with your head up because the auto trader just spits out
Yeah.
free money.
I mean, look what happened 2 days ago. The market dropped. Every stock dropped or every coin dropped 7%. It was either 7 or 8%. Right. I got all the list of all the coins everybody's trading, and all I saw is a bunch of -7%, 777, 8887. I'm like, wow, that sounds like an institutional drop if I ever saw one.
Mm.
I mean, how perfect was that? Every coin dropped 7%. And then today, what are they up? Like 9%. I mean,
Mhm.
all I know is my auto trader, had some trades today, and it's just the stuff it bought while it was down. Because when it goes down like that, the auto trader buys more. But it doesn't get goofy. It doesn't throw all your money in when it goes lower. It just buys some more. And then when that wiggles, it's like you can't sell $50 bags of potato chips in a grocery store. You sell a lot of $2.50 bags. So lately, the bags I've been buying are like 450. I don't get it, and they're like a
They'll be
little
50. They'll be 50
nothing in
before
these
long.
bags. What's that?
They'll be 50 before long.
Yeah, right. But you sell a lot of $2.50 bags, but you're doing it for life. See this? When I do that, it's buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Doesn't matter where the price goes. Let me show you. Let me share my screen. This is important. Now, some of you have already seen me talk about this, but it really, about the bucket and the well.
Hmm.
If it was water, the bucket would have to go all the way to the bottom and get the water and go all the way back up. We all know that. It can't go halfway down and then go back up. It will come back with an empty bucket. But in the crypto market, all it's got to do is wiggle. Go down a little buy, up a little sell. Down a little buy, up a little sell. It simply doesn't matter where it goes. And there's no time frame in this. How long is it taking to go up and down? It's always going up and down. That's what it does. Every chart you look at is just, you can see it up, down, up, down, up, down. There's no straight line unless it's a one time straight, a big jump in a coin. Now, see if anybody has any questions or disputes or anything about this, please bring it up. Let's talk about it because I want to enlighten you because it's real. And then if it jumps like that, any inventory you had that you held when it went lower, when you get a big jump up, you just sell it all off. So, I was watching a webinar, the YouTube. You can go to YouTube and, Google BlackRock. They literally own 7% of every company out there. They own 7% of Facebook, 7% of, I mean, everywhere, every company. Nvidia, 7% of Tesla. I mean, they own everything. I love it. So when the market goes down, I think to myself, a lot of people internalize that loss, that down. They go, I'm losing, I'm losing. And I'm like, stop thinking like that, man. If I'm losing $1, BlackRock's using $1 billion. If I'm losing $10, they're losing $10 billion. So I'm not even worried about it. They control the prices. I don't. I'm just piggybacking what they're doing. Thank God, or thank goodness, that they are moving the prices around for us. What a gift. What a gift to have to have somebody drive the prices into the ground so I can buy at record low prices. I mean, wouldn't you love it if they would just drive Microsoft down to 30 cents a share so you could buy 10 million shares or something? Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, but you know what? They do that every once in a while. They did it in 2000. They drove Microsoft down to $30. Unfortunately, we didn't know what we were doing at that time, so we sold everything at a loss instead of buying. Now we have an auto trader that loads up when they do that. When they go down into the ground, when they go low, we go low. When they go high, we go high. We go wherever they go, and we keep pumping money. And that's why, like Edward said, it's just free money. And why people feel like they have to gamble,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the challenge, the
and
25
let
year
me
challenge.
yeah, let me interrupt you for just a second. Go all the way back to where I set the expectations, right? I said you're going to see things that defy logic, defy gravity, all of the things that you have been taught. But this system has been perfected and continues to be perfected. I think Mr. Barsano is going to share for the first time. We don't even know what the enhancements are, but he and his team work day and night, almost 24/7, 365, like the market, to provide benefit to you, right? And you saw the questions. If it's that good, why doesn't everybody own it? Well, our biggest challenge is getting to enough people fast enough to simply share this story with them. We're not concerned about what your action is after that. We're concerned about delivering the information in a way where you realize that it is real and it's not too good to be true. But ultimately, we're all semi adults. You have the opportunity to take advantage of something that Mr. Barsano and his team have put, dare I say, hundreds of thousands of hours into something that doesn't exist anywhere else, likely will not exist into the future, right? Even with AI, there is so much in this, and you just simply get an opportunity to take advantage of it. And again, I'll show you some examples of what this means specifically to you. Only if you raise your hand and say, "Nope, I got way too much money at the end of every month. I'm good."
I'm good, man.
If you don't raise your hand, then there are multiple compelling reasons why you should listen to an opportunity that gives you more money at the end of the month instead of more month at the end of the month. So I had to get that off my chest. Mr. Barsano, continue.
Cool. So why doesn't everybody drink smart water? They have reasons, right? I mean, you might have reasons. Some people say that, well, there's nothing wrong with the tap water. I don't know. If you're from Chicago, can't you just smell that bleach inside the water when you turn on the faucet? I don't know what it is, man, but it's like bleach, I think. It's got a bleachy smell. I mean, that's how they sterilize the water in Chicago.
Not
Um,
good.
well, yeah, and everybody doesn't do everything because they have too many. One woman kind of hit the nail on the head during one of my presentations. She said, this all sounds good, but I'm not smart enough to know if it's real or not, so I'm gonna pass. I mean, that's a legitimate answer. I like that. That was a straight up answer. I don't know if it's really real. That's why I show you this bucket in the well. Is that not real?
Yep.
That's as real as could be. That's why I like the bucket in the well because it really calls it out. This is what stocks do or coins do. Stocks and coins, they just go up and down, up and down. So it's just going to pump money forever. And that's the name of the game. That's called commerce. Commerce has been around for 5,000 years. You buy something or you produce something and you sell it at a higher price. And that's it. That's what a 7-Eleven does. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. Everybody knows commerce. If any of you don't understand commerce, then you need to put that in the Q&A because we need to teach you something that you should already common sense you would know. This pen, somebody produced this and then sold it to Residence Inn. It's got that on there. To Residence Inn at a higher price than what they paid to produce it. That's called commerce. That's all this auto trader is. This is commerce. This is basic commerce. If you understand commerce, then you know it's going to pump money forever. Only you don't have any overhead. That's the beauty. You don't have to have a parking lot and a building and hire employees and order the materials. You know, if you're like a 7-Eleven, they don't produce anything. They just order the stuff. And then it's got to come in boxes. I mean, I was looking at a shelf yesterday in Albertsons and it had all these I was next to the I was in the pharmacy line and it was next to all the vitamins and stuff. And it was just, I mean, all those vitamins and, D3 and E and all that. And each shelf is only this big, right? For each one. They're all lined up. And right under it, there's a label, how much it costs and everything for how much you have to pay for each item. And I'm like, oh my God, all that work. I can't even believe it. That's all I was thinking is, oh man, all that work, man. They had to get that stuff in boxes, man, and take it out and then put it and create the labels and put it on the shelves and everything. And we're doing exactly the same thing, but only fully automated. We're just pumping out money. It's not magic. I didn't create magic. I'm not a magician. Seriously, I laugh about the whole thing. Everybody knows I call the market an insult to humanity because it's just free money. Now, the programming isn't the challenge. The people are the challenge because they just, for some reason, society doesn't seem to see it. And that's been my challenge for 25 years, trying to this is a therapy session for me because I need to get it off my chest at least once a week. Because I don't get it. I don't understand how everybody just simply doesn't see that it's free money. Um, Everybody wants to gamble. And then when things are going up, like right now we had an update today. Let me go over to my trader here and take a quick look here. Yeah, look, this one's up 4 ACH is up 4.34%. Dogecoin is up 9.74. It was down, I think, 7% 2 days ago, and then it bounced back. And what did I do down here? Here's perfect. 2 days ago, when the market crashed or went down, I don't call it really a crash, but it went down. You can see the trader bought Dogecoin and SHIB. You can see the shares match where it sold it today. 97665. 97665. And here 19006 949, this one. And then there it is, the sell. And there's the price. It went from 606 at the end to 639. And this Doge went from, is that it? 9533 to 10093. So there you go. I mean, it just pumped. Well, it gave me another, here it is, the total, $562. Whoops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Help me, mama. Every once in a while you drag something and do something wrong. I don't even know how to get that back. Now I got two of them. Hey, man. That's fun.
So it made 1,068
Here, I'll
in the
do
last
this.
2 days.
I'll go back to this one and just go to my trader and say open link in new tab and drag it over. And then we can get rid of these idiot things. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, yeah, free money. It's like I'm not gonna go out and spend $1,000 today. Um, so anyways, that's all the auto trader. It's just if you look at history down here in the filled orders section on the lower right, you can see the buys don't have any prices there, and the sells have prices, the profit loss. And you can just sit and scroll through. Let me move this down. You can just scroll through these and see it's all buy and fill up the shelves and then sell it all off. And buy and sell, buy and sell. It's just, and it could, it's just You can have it's just nonstop money. It's just literally nonstop money. Everybody should have an auto trader, man. And Attila, you mentioned something. You said all you need to do is be able to hit keys on your keyboard or something. You don't need to turn this on every day. Once you set it up, you're
No,
done.
no,
It's running on my servers.
no. Edward said all you need to do is turn it on, push a button, and light up your computer. But that's once
Yeah.
only. That's not daily.
Yeah, that's not daily.
Yeah,
I mean, you can look at it every day. It's just a website. I mean,
right.
it's just amazing here. I remember one time we were doing a presentation and Attila said, "Look at all the money you took." And here it shows total profits taken 372 over here. And I was saying, and I said, I didn't take that. And he's like, "What are you talking about? It says you total profits taken." I said, "Yeah, but I didn't take that." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I took this, $86, $91, $34, and it added up to that." So it's
Right.
like I said, you can sell a lot of $2.50 bags of chips, but you can't sell a $50 bag or a $3,000 bag of chips. You sell a lot of chips, and that's basic commerce. And when we get a nice big down day, like this, where it's just buys every coin you own, adds to it, it's cool because then you just sell it all off, on the wiggles, and this process goes on forever. It's a forever process. Anybody that doesn't have an auto trader, you really have to ask yourself why not, because there's therapy required there if you don't have one. Simply because, I mean, why wouldn't you have one? Why wouldn't you have a fully robotic trader? I mean, even Warren Buffett, what did he say? That if you don't have something making money in your sleep, you'll work till you die? For me, working till you die sounds good. I mean, I have no problem with that, but only because I don't camp and I don't go off and do that stuff. You got to do something. So I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy programming, but everybody should have an auto trader just cranking out free money. I mean, in the last 30 days, this thing's taken $6,000 of free money. It's just free money. It's not like putting money in a bank and you get an 8-cent statement in the mail that says, "Oh, you made 8 cents interest." This is cranking out money, and that $1,000 goes right into my save bucket, my current profit saved at the bottom. And what that means is that's not being used by the auto trader. It's actual cash sitting there that I can go blow. A couple years ago, I had $300,000 in my save bucket. I took 200,000. I went and bought a Range Rover. Free money. I have no regard for money anymore because it's just free money. And I don't know what that sounds like to you, arrogant or whatever. I don't know if you feel that way, but you really lose value of money when it's just free and it just keeps coming and it's never going to stop coming. There's nothing they can do to stop what I'm doing because I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not throwing fake orders out there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could do to mess with the market. I'm not messing with anything. I'm letting BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard, I'm letting them change the prices. They're doing all this with the prices. I'm just sitting back taking free money.
Well,
So
Ed,
this is
the
the
free
order.
money the since February of 2023 to get $372,000 of free money is not a bad proposition based on what you've built. I mean, that's pretty incredible. That's 125, just under 125,000 a year if you break it
In a
down.
straight down market, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Even though everybody is scared because they think it's a down market, I mean, some people actually think it's the end of crypto. They say I've heard people say that, "Oh, most of these coins you're trading are just going to vanish. They're just going to disappear." No, they're not. I doubt that. Alchemy Pay is like Apple Pay worldwide. I can't imagine them going away. Dogecoin's not going to go away. The Graph's got 70,000 companies using them. I don't think they're going away. Shiba Inu is one of the most widely held coins out there. Everybody's sitting on SHIB. Why would it go away? I mean, coins don't just vanish for no reason. I mean, there's no reason for that, for a coin to just go away like people are saying they're going to go away. You know, in the stock market, you can talk like that about the stock market too. I mean, there's 10, God, how many penny stocks are there out there?
Oh,
Probably a million of them, you know, and I mean, they're not going away. They might go away. Those little companies really could go away. These are multi-million dollar companies. You know, BlackRock's sitting on $80 billion worth of crypto. I mean, they're not going to just flush their money down the toilet, and they're not dumb. If anything, don't ever call BlackRock dumb. They're on the board of every company out there. They are voting in every company. They are pushing this market wherever they want it to go. And cryptos are not going away. Cryptos are only getting bigger and bigger and better. Um, yeah,
Hey,
so
Ed.
this trader shows, what does it show? It's on the left. It's a live trader. You don't care about what server it happens to be running on. I've got racks of servers at a co-location center. That's why I've always said I have no competitors. I've looked for competitors all the way since 2001, all through the years. And I'm always looking over my right shoulder. Where are the competitors? Do they realize how big I'm getting? I mean, I've got multiple millions of dollars of infrastructure. I've got a huge cage in a co-location center with racks of servers, you know, with all these auto traders running on it. This isn't something you create in your bedroom or your garage. I'm well beyond that. I'm so far ahead of everybody. And they're all gambling. You know, everybody else that creates a system is gambling. There's no gambling in this system. It's got AI in it. Down here it shows added to declining position AI. Whereas the one right below it says added to declining position without the AI. It means it saw AI when the software said it's I want to buy more. It's a declining position, it's going down, and I want to buy more now at the lower price. So then it says the AI kicks in and says, hold on, don't buy that yet. It's going lower. Based on the snapshot of the environment, 27 indicators in the AI that have been running for 25 years. It's been training for 25 years. And again, not rocket science. Some people might say it is. You know, I think there's a lot of AI out there that is well beyond what I'm doing. Some of the cool stuff they have out there, you know, using AI. I love it. I love where they're going, and they're spending billions of dollars to do that. Open AI, thank you. You know, they're really pushing, you know, Chat GPT. They're pushing technology. I love it. I don't need all that because AI can't forecast. It can't tell me what's going to happen tomorrow. If it could do that, I'd be the richest person on the planet. But it is
hmm.
good for the current environment. It's kind of like if you threw a ball and the ball is coming down now. AI can say, well, based on I've seen that pattern when it's going down and how high it is. Based on how high it is, I can tell you when it's going to hit the ground. All right, that's AI can tell you that. It's a snapshot of the environment, and it's saying I've seen that pattern a million times. I already know it's going to hit the ground in 3 seconds at that speed that it's going. It's very simple, right? But it's a matter of having a lot of history to be able to do that. And
Ed,
27 indicators.
can you touch on specifically the two AIs you talked about in as the market's going down, but talk about it's very conservative on the way down, it's very aggressive on the way up. How does the AI work when the prices are skyrocketing?
Well, when things are going up, I can go down here and here's a here's here's a bunch of trades here with profit goal reached. And then price is going higher. Software says I want to take profit. The software is the star of the dish. It's doing all the money management and the risk management. And it knows how many shares to buy and when to buy it and all that. And when the price is going higher and the software says I want to take profit now, it's gone up this much, the amount based on the strategy, and I want to take profit now. But then the AI kicks in and says, hold on like on this one, it says, hold on, don't take that profit yet. I've seen this pattern. Things are rocketing right now. Don't sell it yet. It's going to go higher. it's going to go higher, but it can really only predict about 30 minutes out. It says in the next 30 minutes, this thing's going to continue going higher. But then the AI all the indicators break down, and the snapshots that it's taken, it's saying, I haven't seen that new pattern very often, and I'm only 60% sure it's going to go higher. If it's not 95% sure it's going to go higher, the software says, well, thank you, AI, but I'm going to go ahead and sell it now and take the profit. So the AI can tell it when to slow down, when to not take, not take the trade. Um,
Can
so
I add a statement that accelerates or amplifies the power of what you just said? So on when we've seen it. Matter of fact, Ed, you can go back to what was it, January of 25, and in that example is that the rules are set, right? No emotion, as I talked about at the beginning. The rules are set. In this case, it's set to buy more at a 3% dip and sell at a 5% profit. Now, somebody talked about fees, so I'll wrap that into the conversation at the same time. The fees that the exchange charges, the platform already knows what the fees are going to be. So if you have a 5% profit goal, it may add, an eighth of a percent, a half a percent, whatever, to cover those fees both in and out. The great news about that is you no longer have to worry about fees. You really should. If you're making money hand over fist, you shouldn't worry about the fees anyway. However, the fees are a deductible um, item if you deduct things, right? In this case, if you've made money and it's making a little bit more than what you told it to make to cover those fees, you double win. You get
yeah,
to keep all your profit, and you write off any expenses that you have. Back to my original point. If it goes up and it follows the rules, because it does until the AI tells it not to follow the rules in those short sprints. So in this case, what you see at the bottom of the screen is you see a market that rocketed 250% in a matter of 3 or 4 days. Obviously, that's higher than 5%. As
that's
it was
alchemy. When
right,
alchemy took off
right,
last year.
right. As it was going up, it called the AI because it said, "Oh, wait a minute. It told me the rules tell me I'm supposed to take the profit." But the AI said, "Nope, chill out, watch it because it's going through the roof." So you see the amount of money in each trade, profit that is, that was taken on those. That's because the AI is 25 years smart and it knows exactly when to sell
I
without
mean, I was
emotion,
taking two thousand
right?
dollars, $2,000 lots here, man.
Right. It knows
1,700, 1,200.
knows if you think you can outthink 25 years of programming. Okay, be my guest. It won't work. 90% of the people probably 95% of the people, even professional traders, lose money. Why? Because they're not up in the middle of the night. They are driven by emotion, and there's not proper money management. So continue.
Well, I mean, since you brought us back to January 29th of 2025, you can even see while ACH was on this uptrend, rocketing, rocketing up. It was still wiggling. It was still going up, but it was going down and wiggling, wiggling up and down while it was going higher. So the auto trader was actually buying more on the down wiggle while it was trending up. So not only were we selling the inventory we bought when it was going down, we were actually buying more and selling that also. So we were double dipping on the way up. The software gets extremely aggressive when things are going the right way up. We've been on a 4-year downtrend, but when we have periods where things are rocketing up, the auto trader goes crazy and starts taking crazy money. I mean, the market is such an insult to humanity. It's so easy. It's an insult.
Hmm.
And I can say that, I don't know how to fix a headlight on a car, all right? And, my wife holds the ladder when I'm going to change an air filter in the house because she's afraid I'll fall off. Just because I fell off the ladder one time, now she's down there holding the ladder like I mean, it's 6, 7 feet or 8 feet. I don't know what that is. I think those are 10-foot ceilings, but it's not that high. But anyways, I mean, I know how to program, I'm not good at a lot of other stuff, but this is all just free money, man.
I'm going
And
to
What
make
that's
a
the deal.
comparison, Mr. Barsano. For the first time ever, you are the LeBron James of automated trading.
I'm not the LeBron James of air filter changing, though.
No, no. But
Hey
you are
Ed,
the best of the best with no competition.
why don't you share with us, Ed, the any upgrades that you've done since we've spoken last?
All
That would be
right. Well,
cool.
here, this is the big one here. I think it's kind of cool. I added
Uh-huh.
this new column. Let me explain the highest trade count report. This is a report that shows you if you were running a 7-Eleven, if you were just now going to open one, you don't know what products to sell in your 7-Eleven. You wouldn't know. So they have a report that shows the biggest moving items, the monster drinks and the vapes and the coffee and candy bars and potato chips. You can walk through a 7-Eleven and just glance at the stuff and you can see what the big items are, right? Well, this item, this report, it's called the highest trade count report. It's under your menu here, under right here, highest counts report, highest trade counts. It shows you the items that how they did last year. All right, I'm not forecasting next year, but I can sit here and it did 1,559 trades or 1,531 trades. 1,418 trades. If you go to the bottom, if you start scrolling to the bottom of the report, the further down you get, this number here gets smaller and smaller. You sell less items, or it sold less items. All right. And if you go all the way to the bottom, you start getting to the real junk 27 trades in a month, 35 trades in a month. I mean, that's awful. Or here's Bitcoin. 5 trades per month, or 5 trades in a month is the average. 142 trades in a year. And then you can scroll over to the right, and these are monthly columns. Let's go back up to the top of the report. These are months. This is, September, October, November, December, January. And you can just look across and you can see how many trades. These are closed, profitable trades. Every trade, every closed trade is profitable. And you can say, would I want a coin? Do I feel, all right, just talk about how you feel. If I bought that coin, if I started trading that coin, do I feel like I'm going to get about this many trades each month? I mean, it's just, that's what it's all about, I mean, I think I can feel pretty confident that the number of trades I'm going to get here is going to look pretty darn good, I would think. As opposed to the coins near the bottom, where forget those are
Stable
coins. But
coins.
here, but look, stable coins, that's it. I mean, do I want a coin that does that? 9 trades, 13 trades, 17 trades, 13 trades? Or do I want coins that trade in the 70s per month? I mean, and what coin is this? I mean, this one right here, let's just say, let's scroll over to the left. PRCL, okay? A lot of people trade it, okay? So what I so that's what's important about this report is grabbing coins. If you were going to fill up your 7-Eleven, I want to fill it up with stuff that moves, not stuff that doesn't move. Then the thing I just added was percent of users. How many users are in these coins? Let's click percent of users sorted by that. 57% of our users are own ACH. 48% of our users use GRT. 46% own SHIB. 33% own SUI. 28% own Bank. 28%. 27% own Pepe. Now you got to ask, ACH is online while 120 only gives 817 trades last year. Okay, GRT's online 244. Only 653 trades last year. Now, why would so many users own these top three? I'll tell you why that they own those top three. This report didn't exist until last year. That's why. So when I first turned on the Auto Trader 4 years ago, or back in 2021, that's 5 years ago now. April will be 5 years. This report didn't exist. And I didn't, everybody, I didn't, what coins am I going to trade? And Coinbase only had about 35 coins you could trade at that time when they first, I guess, first came out. And so I did research and I said, well, Alchemy pays like AC, like Apple Pay worldwide, I mean, they're huge. And just a few months ago, they partnered with Apple Pay. So I was right all along, and so I'm like, I love ACH. And the graph's got 70,000 users using them. They get 2 billion hits a day on their reports, their APIs. So that's another very big one. They're a great company. And Shiba Inu, at that time, everybody owned Shiba. I don't know anybody that doesn't own Shiba Inu. So, those were like the first coins I started trading. And then, and then remember when I first turned on the Auto Trader, most of the users that were coming on were stock traders. So they're like, how do I know what coins to trade? What are you trading, Ed? Well, there you go. And I'm like, well, these are the coins I'm trading. I mean, I don't know. There are probably other good coins out there, but I love these three coins. And Dogecoin was the fourth one. And Doge is every time Elon Musk would say, hey, you could buy a Tesla with your Dogecoin. And the price would jump 30%, and then it would come back down, and then he'd talk again, and it would jump 30% again. I'm like, that's gold to an auto trader. It's just moving up and down. And
Ed, can you click on the understanding this report?
Yep, you just got kudos from Fardin, Mike, that says, I love the understanding, the report button. It's an excellent addition. Thank
yeah,
you.
that's a new. Yeah, you're right. And you can scroll, I think, to the bottom of the report. Let me see. We got more. You got to have risk disclosures and stuff. I don't want somebody to come back to me and say, you said that this coin was going to be great and they went out of business. I don't know. I'm only going by, to me, I look at these coins like 7-Eleven items. There's your monster drinks, there's your potato chips, there's your candy bars. If they decide all of a sudden they're not going to sell Twinkies anymore because Twinkies went out of business, I don't know that. I don't really at the beginning I used to research the company. So I researched these companies and I liked them and the prices were great. At 12 cents, what a joke. All these prices are insultingly low, by the way. And if you think about it, every crash, who gets rich? Who got rich in the 2000 market crash? Well, 98% of us were all selling at the bottom when that market crashed. If you remember the 2000 market crash, I mean, I talked to a guy in the Schwab 500 group, at Charles Schwab, and he said people were calling up and saying, just get me out, sell it all. I mean, they were just panic selling at the bottom,
Mm.
and who got rich? The people that bought at the bottom, and so that's us now. It wasn't
Mhm.
us then. It wasn't me then. In 2008, it was me kind of. When the banks hit $1, I was loading up. That was the free money if I ever saw it. But people were actually dumping their bank stocks at $1 in 2008, and the rich got richer. And that's what's happening now, in my opinion. That's just a guess. That's my opinion. But I've seen it before over and over again for 25 years. I see what's happening. The rich get richer when everybody else is dumping. And right now they keep pushing these coins lower. Let me explain the dynamics of how the market works. When a coin goes down in price, your open positions P&L over here goes down. So your negative inventory, your negative inventory goes more negative. When your negative inventory goes more negative, it pushes your account value down. That's what scares people. So let me tell you, if you learn anything from this webinar, stop looking at your account value. It's baloney. It's just bogus. Unless you feel like you're going to run out and buy a Ferrari tomorrow and you need that money right now, just relax because We've been on a long-term downtrend for 4 straight years. But remember what the market looked like before we went into that downturn market. Here's what happened. I turned on the auto traders in April. The market went straight up all the way until October, literally like a rocket, man. Straight up. I mean, I think my account was up 200%. It just shot straight up. And then the market, and then the whales decided, oh my God, we want in now. And when they want in, they don't want to pay top dollar. The first thing they have to do is get all the little guys out. They got to get all the people who are working in their jobs to not become millionaires. Everybody will quit their jobs. So we need to run everybody out of the crypto market. So even even Bitcoin went from 60,000 all the way down to 24,000. Drive everybody out. Millions of people sold their Bitcoin at 24,000 or they sold it a lot on the way down, and by the time it hit 24,000 they were out. Of course, then where did it go? To 120,000. So, it got everybody out. Now, if you go and talk to anyone, you need to try it, if you have enough guts to do it. I do. I mean, I don't call it guts, but if I'm in a like a Quest Diagnostics, I'll actually say I'll just announce, "Hey, anybody want to talk crypto?"
Hey
Just
Ed,
like that. And you'd be
yeah,
surprised how everybody starts looking at the floor.
hey Ed,
They start
funny.
looking away. Nobody wants to talk crypto, and I'm like, that's a signal to me. It's telling me that the big guys are the ones loading up, and the little guys are all getting out. And
Hey
and
Ed,
who's going to get rich? The big guys
We are.
at noon.
and us, yeah, and us, because we trade it all the way down. We
Hey
never
Ed,
sell at a loss.
guess where I was today at noon?
Quest Diagnostic.
Yep. The waiting room was empty. Otherwise, I would have asked people. So, how's your crypto?
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
really?
don't ask while they're trying to put the needle in your arm.
Hey,
Yeah.
you ever come out of there after you got your blood work? They took blood, and you come out that door and you look at everybody and say, "Man, that really hurt," even though it didn't.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never done that.
I'm amazed that you never watch some people. I don't know what it is about society, but like if I see somebody coming out after they got their blood work and they can hardly even walk. Some people are like that. They can't walk. I'm amazed nobody will open up the door when they're going out. Am I the only one that jumps up and says, "Let me get that door"? I mean, I don't get it. I don't know where our society is. I just don't know
Yeah,
what's going on.
right.
But it is what it is. I know that I try to share with everybody, and people are just afraid of crypto, and that's a real good sign for us because that
Yeah.
just
All right.
means BlackRock's going to get
Well,
richer. So
maybe
are
you've heard
we.
of the idea of um, divided we fall, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to the lie box, that's what it's trying to do. Not here. Scott makes a great comment. This is the way I look at it. Is the difference between the account value and how much money you have invested is the size of your inventory. That's a very good point, but I'm gonna put the icing on the cake.
Inventory is good.
If you're just a buy and holder, all your and the value of your
You're all
holdings,
in up here,
right?
and the price is now down here, 80% lower. You're dead. You gotta wait till it goes up 80% before you even break even. With us, you were buying it like this all the way down, so it never has to go more than 3 or 5% up for you to sell. You're constantly buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. No matter where the price goes, you don't even care forever. For the rest of your life, you don't even care where the price goes. You don't care. And when you see big days where the market dropped like 10% or something, like the other day, 7%, look at that. How beautiful is that? And we're just going to take more profits. If I look at my Doge, let's click on that. Oh, it already sold one. Um, this one's still down 4.87%. So you just look at the top ones. These are the ones that are going to sell. If I look at my ACH, He's still down 7.551%. So he's not going to sell yet. So that's okay. We'll have a couple up days, and then a lot of them will sell off. It'll
Yeah,
repeat what we see down below here, all this. This will just repeat for the rest of my life. It's just going to go, it's just going to keep doing that. And the coins are already sitting all the way here at the bottom. This is, if you, every day that you don't have an auto trader, let me tell you this, folks, those of you who don't have an auto trader, and I'm not a salesman, but I'm going to just tell you like what it is. Every day that you don't have a trader, you're not building inventory. And inventory is good because you've got the market trapped. Like, what if the market jumps, what if one of these coins jumps 50% tomorrow? And we've seen that all the time. You don't have any inventory to sell, you're not going to make any money. You just miss that. What if, I mean, if you don't, what if I use the 7-Eleven as an example, if you only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a school bus full of kids pulls in? All you can sell is one bag of potato chips because that's all you have. You want to have a lot of inventory so when that school bus pulls in, you sell a lot of bags of potato chips. You don't want to have empty shelves. When I walk into a store, any store, my eye cannot miss the empty shelves. And I'm like, they shouldn't be empty shelves. If the owners were in that store, they would not allow empty shelves.
Yeah. Hey,
And
Ed.
and the other
Um,
thing is, every day that you don't have an auto trader, you're not taking free money.
yeah.
So that's just every single day that you don't have an auto trader, you're just throwing away money. You're just throwing away all this free money that the market is literally just giving you, and you're not taking it. So those of you who go wait 6 months before you get an auto trader, and you'll buy one 6 months from now. And you'll call me after a week of running your auto trader. You'll say, "Oh man, I should have turned this on 6 months ago." I hear it all the time.
Well, last week you said something that I'll never forget, and it was a great point, and you really never brought it up the way you brought it up last year. And I'm paraphrasing, but you said that the majority of everybody only is concerned about when the market goes up. And what the Go Baby Trade does for people is it manages the entire other side of the equation, which everybody either doesn't even realize is happening and can be profitable for them. So you're constantly talking about building inventory. That's happening when the market's going down.
Right. You
So
look at the
now,
bucket and the well. If you look
yeah,
at the bucket and the well, this isn't the market going up, going from the top up. This is from the market going down.
right,
The auto trader knows how to handle a down market. Anybody
right,
can make money in an up market. That's a no-brainer. You
right.
bought something and it went up. Good, sell it. Good for you. How do you handle losers? The auto trader is designed to handle losers. It knows how to turn your losers into winners and to
I,
great point.
and to prep you for the kill. You're
yeah,
building all that inventory. Remember, I'm not always mention BlackRock because they own so much. $88 billion of crypto. Here's the deal. They didn't just buy it at the bottom. They were loading up here at the higher prices as the market's been going down for the last 4 years. It's been wiggling, but it's been downtrending. Watch when that trend turns from down to up. And you got all that inventory. This is where this is where millions are made. It's prepping you during this whole down market for the kill, for when that market does make that turn up. And it's coming, baby. I told everybody 4 months ago, I said, we're going to see blood in the streets before this market takes off, because that's what happens in crashes. Before they rocket the coins to new highs, they push it down as hard as they can. And that's what they've been doing for the last 4 months. These coins have dropped like 80% I'd say the last 6 months, 80% down from where they were just 6 months ago. That's a huge drop. That's bigger, by the way, than the 1929 market crash.
Yep,
yeah,
It's
it
bigger
is.
yeah,
than the
Yeah.
2000 market crash, and everybody got wiped out in those crashes.
right.
This is huge. But we have been capitalizing. We started right on the crash. We said, "Okay, let's go." And they started going lower and we started building inventory. If you look at my trader, This shows 24 lots. That means I own 24 lots of that coin on its way going down. If you scroll down, I just clicked on the plus. You can see that one's down 7.58%. This one's down 24%. And in the middle of these, it's buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. But then if it keeps going lower, we hold on to that loser and let it keep going. This one's down 35%, this bottom one. And we scroll down a little more. The next one's down 44%. The next one is down 50%. You just keep going.
Yeah.
They're
Hey,
little,
Ed,
this one's down 58%. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about how far they're down. Worry about taking profits on the wiggles that never ends, never
hey,
stops
Ed,
for the rest of your life.
we've got a bunch of questions. Before we do the questions, can you cover one more thing? And that is, people ask, how much money do I need to start with the Go Baby trade? And it's all over the map, but we do have a screen with the top 50 traders with
Hmm.
all kinds of amounts that people started with. These are actual accounts that people started with. And over the last 12 months, you could see the kind of return
Yeah.
that's made for them based on various amounts. So go ahead, top
It's
traders.
on the website, top traders. So we go to the top trader report, and I'm about ready to produce another one of these. Somebody said, how come you don't keep producing these each month? It's like, it's all the same numbers. Really. It's not like the highest trade count report where the numbers are changing, I mean, these are the same numbers. And I took out all the big money ones, the $500,000 accounts, the $1 million accounts. Somebody, a couple of years ago when I first created this report, I was getting emails saying, well, it looks like you need $500,000 to trade in this trader. And because the big money was filling up, the trading balances were all way too big. So I took out the big money, the big people, the big accounts, and I left all the rest of the people. And this guy started with $163 a year ago, and he made $465. Let me tell you something. Warren Buffett would be all over this trader because if
Uh,
you're getting 284% returns,
yeah,
people don't get returns like this. I don't know if people realize the magnitude of this. To be
no,
able to get, to invest $13,000 and take 20,000 in profits, 150% return in 1 year. Nobody gets that. You can't go to a bank though. You're lucky to get 1% a year out of those guys. I mean, even a credit card, a high credit card that charges 30% is still, which is ridiculous. These things just crank out money. The guy started with 31,000, he doubled his money, he got 35%. That's 114% return. And you can click on any of these and see, what are they trading? I mean, I think that's a lot of coins, for $5,000, but he's got a bunch of coins that he put in and he's playing with the percents. You can see that.
perfect. All right,
But
well,
each
that's
person can do that if they want. But it's showing you what they're trading, even if you ever if you're ever wondering. You can
Yeah, and
see all.
Gents, I just posted Crypto Casey's exclusive discount link in. When you click on that, it takes you right to that front page where Mr. Barsano was. It also gives you $1,000 off of the regular price. We weren't going to talk about this until the end, but it
Here it
takes
is
you
there.
to the front page that gives you access to all of this. And we're always suggesting people do their own research. As I said at the beginning, this is all factually based. This isn't what ifs and made ups. It is what it is.
There's the link up there that you
Yep.
type in gobabytrade.com/
Yep.
crypto Casey. That
That's
lowers the price from 44.99 to 34.99.
yep. And that's the link I just
And
posted.
and we just started just yesterday. We're connecting with a firm so you can put it
What?
on. You can put
Stop
it
and
on.
say that in big capital letters. What did you just
You
say?
can put it on payment plans now.
What? Congratulations.
Yeah,
when does that pop up, Ed?
it's up now.
Okay, great. Thank you for letting us
So
know.
if you hit
Yeah,
the sign up now, it gives you that option. You
yeah.
obviously have to go through other screens where you put your detail in. Is that something?
Yeah,
Well,
after you put in your email and your password and your name and address, it'll get to the payment screen. And when
okay,
it gets to the payment screen, your payment options are going to be pay with pay with a credit card, pay with crypto, or pay with payments, which is
over
a
time,
Affirm.
right? So,
Nice.
I know this is a mute question, but let me ask it anyway. So we didn't know that was coming. Obviously,
yeah,
we've talked about
sorry.
it in the background, but let me say congratulations on behalf of those people that are looking for ways to say yes. You've just made it 1,000 times easier, particularly if they don't want to load up a credit card. But
It
what
doesn't make it a month. If you can pay in monthly payments, you're still buying a 3-year subscription.
Right, right. But it makes it easier for people to manage their cash flow. And obviously, here's a huge thing is that if someone had the $35 and they're like, oh, wait a minute, okay, I can buy that, but I don't have any cash to put into the trader to start making money. Now you've given them the world's best option to be able to get in here with manageable payments and use that capital to start making money right away, which dare I say, what they will make over time, the money that the capital you've now freed up to have them to allow them to trade may actually pay off the trader in a
Help you
relatively
pay
short
off the
period of
trader.
time.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Barsano.
So,
Thanks to your team. I know you've been
Excellent.
you've been looking at that in the background. Is
well,
that
Edward,
something? So is that something that
Stephen
we
was programming that.
right that is that it's now we're live now with the people that are on here and people will get this recording. Is it okay? Do we have your official permission to start promoting that?
You can, but it's not. Now, let me tell everybody who already has an account, it's not retroactive. You can't go back. You can't say, "Well, I already paid 3,500. I'm going to break that into monthly payments." That's
But
not
but if you want to buy a
available.
second trader for your son or daughter,
You can.
you can on payments. That's spectacular.
Excellent. Thank you, Ed.
You're
Fantastic.
welcome. I know
Love
you
it.
guys were asking for that for a
Love it.
while.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people we spoke to were asking for it, so that's why we passed
Yep.
it on to you.
As a matter of fact, John just put in the chat. Many people have been requesting this. Thank you. What a blessing. What a blessing. Thank you.
Well, we our priority is always getting the auto traders to make more money.
Yes.
And that's always been the priority, so those other things are just side
Okay.
things,
Mhm.
are,
Well,
the
it
most important thing is protection of your assets, protection of your money, and being able to handle. Nobody gets wiped out in a market crash,
Right. No,
let me
because
down is
you can
good.
trade forever.
cover, we're going to go into the Q&A now, Ed, and I want to just cover something I'm seeing in the chat, and it's fresh on my mind. Karen J, thank you for asking this question, and I'm not picking on you, but I want to make an example of the question, so just bear with me. And again, it's something that's asked very often, but I feel very strongly about what I'm about to say. So she says, Karen typed in, what are the fees for each trade? Well, first of all, they're minimal, and that comes from not the trader, of course, but it comes from your exchange, Coinbase or Kraken. Now, Mr. Barsano, if you're on Coinbase, Mr. Barsano has the trader trading in Coinbase Advanced, where the fees are already lower. Okay. If you want to
Right.
get Coinbase One, you get a 0.25% rebate on all
Kickback.
fees. Yeah,
Yeah, every month
every
they
day.
send you a check.
Right, right. But here's my point,
You
Karen.
know what? That's the only taxes I owe, by the way, is
Is
the
it?
money they
Yeah.
gave me on those stupid kickbacks.
So anyway, what my point is this, in the space that we are in, which I call the digital money revolution. In fact, we've got a book coming out soon with that name. Edward and I do. We co-authored it. And it's decentralized finance, blockchain, crypto. In that space, never ever sweat the fees. You know why?
God, no.
In this space, you have an opportunity to become uber wealthy. Who cares about the fees? If you own your own, I'm not talking about Karen, but anybody, if you own your own house, do you know what kind of fees you pay to get in that house? I mean, title company, ridiculous fees, okay? This company, that company, there's no more fees involved than the fees involved in a real estate
And
transaction,
real
okay?
estate
So
taxes
so
every year.
never sweat the fees that are associated with you becoming wealthy. Now, Ed, you
Well,
please,
that's the same thing with taxes, by the way. You know, people
yeah,
worry about, oh, I'm gonna have to pay too many taxes. You're worried about paying taxes? You're worried about you don't want to make money because you don't want to pay taxes? I don't get
I
it. See,
prayed for
there's
years, I prayed for a big tax problem. That means I was making a
yeah.
ton of money, right? But anyway, great question, Karen.
Yep.
And
Yep.
by the way, the results you see the trader making on each trade already are net of the fees. So you need to know that, Karen. Okay.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, the whatever fees that you believe that you're paying at the end of the road, even though the trader is set to capture those fees as part of your profit and net you that 5% or whatever it decides to take as the market goes up, those fees, whatever get listed, you can deduct those. So if that's a double win all the way around.
Not
Now,
only that, you see that number right there? That's after fees.
yeah,
Right.
those are net as Attila was
So
referring to.
it actually made probably $650, but it's showing after fees here because it already made that much. It added the fee to the trade, to the
Hmm.
profit goal.
Right.
Yep.
So who in their right mind would say, you know what, I want to give back that $569 profit because that cost me 50 bucks in fees to make that. No one's going to say
Right.
that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's the cost of doing business. Thank
Yeah.
goodness we have the ability to
Yeah,
do it.
these are all after fees, right? The
Right.
software
Okay.
didn't take
Oh,
whatever
well,
the profit goal was, it added the
okay.
Right.
fee to the goal. So it
Yep.
actually took more money. This is only after the fees.
Yep.
Hey,
Attila, let me ask you an opinion question. I want to be able to show the calculator that dovetails off of how much people think they need to put in or not put in, whatever the case may be,
yeah.
and also the results on a live trader of mine. Do you want to field some questions, or you want to jump in now? I'll quickly show that, and then we can cover questions because it may drive more questions.
All right. One thing
Let's,
I wanted to say before we move on from here, you
yeah.
see this guy's profit goal is 10%. So you can put your own profit goals. Now, I mean, I like 5% because I kind of want to punish the market for going down so low. It's like they're already so low, where are they going to go to zero? So, it's like, why should I give my shares back for 3%? When, this guy's got a 10% profit goal and he's adding on 8% drops. I mean, he's playing it pretty safe, and, he's only doing 5 lots max, which is crazy. But, he doubled his money. You can't knock it.
Uh,
And, so that's, you guys can go to this site. One of the things, or the Top Trader report, one of the things that's important is even if this is all live traders, even if you were paper trading, if you ran an auto trader and didn't have any money to trade with after you bought a subscription, what you will learn watching this auto trader run will be worth its weight in gold. You'll never trade the market the same way again. And that's another thing, like, people trade, right? Some of you day traders may be able to relate to this. You, in your mind, you already know all the rules you're going to follow. Some people actually write the rules on paper. They have a printout of, before I make that trade, I want to make sure this rule passes and that rule passes and that rule passes. But can I tell you something? And I'm telling the truth. You violate your own rules all the time.
uh,
If you had them written down and you were going through the checklist, you'd say, "Well, that rule says I shouldn't make this trade, but I'm going to make it anyway because I just know that coin's going to go up." You're gambling. The auto trader never violates a rule. Never violates a rule, and it's got a lot of rules built into it, like 50 rules. I mean, it's got so many proprietary things that it's looking at. The market's jerking with you left and right, and you don't even know it. Just the data feed alone would tell you that. Like, look at this data feed. Look how much it's moving. See, it's moving. Well, I don't know. Look, it's pausing, but it's still moving. Okay, let's go to the next one real fast. This level 2 screen. This one's really moving faster. A lot faster. See? The numbers are changing a lot faster. Go to the next one. Let's just look at these real fast. There aren't very many. This one's hardly moving at all. It looks like it almost stopped. See, this is the thing. The auto trader says, wait a minute, the coin's not trading. It's not moving. Where are the prices? How come these numbers aren't changing? They're jerking with people. So some people get restless when things aren't changing and they start changing their strategy and everything. I'm like, stop. Quit changing your strategy just because trades aren't happening or something. And then there's a lot of fake orders that'll show up on this level 2 screen also. But you can see when the market's not moving right now. I mean, at least some coins are almost frozen. They're
Um,
simply not moving. You got to be careful because it's all gameplay. There's a
can we?
lot of gameplay out there.
I would say to answer your original question, Edward, I would say do that illustration now, and then we'll go into the
Okay.
Q&A. Just keep it
Okay.
short and sweet if you
Terrific.
don't mind. Yeah.
So, Ed, may I borrow the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let me hit escape and stop sharing.
Okay. Terrific. First, I'm going to show you. I
Hey,
have a non.
Scott said cha-ching, CRV just closed. Nice.
Yeah.
So I have a nonprofit. I mentioned briefly about my background, 30 plus years as a gray man, and a lot of intel that I have access to that and still maintain those relationships. So there's a lot behind the scenes going on behind the scenes, which is all incorporated in who and what we do as a collective. Ed, myself, Attila, a lot of stuff that's coming out in the new book. Nothing super secret, but there are everything that we do is providing you value and tools to be able to improve your financial future. So just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to share is a live trader, non-pro. Oh, there you go. I didn't plan that, but it took a little bit of a profit.
Ha
This is a nonprofit, my nonprofit, as you can see, Gratitude Professor Foundation is what it's called. And we take a portion of our reserves and then we add a little bit more, say $200 to $500. Generally, our rule is $500 a month to this. So instead of letting it sit into a savings account, which by the way, I won't tell you who, but my pass-through savings account at a corporate level just sent me an email that said, "Oh, we just paid you interest." From the time it got there to the time it left, $10,200 made me 0.001 penny. So why would I leave it there when I can put it here? Now let me make that make sense. Let me thank you for showing me the profit. I started with $15,000. 9/11 is a very sentimental day for me. I was Intel first response to as a team, first response to 9/11. I was there when the Pentagon was hit. So I figured what better way to start paying back my brothers and sisters in growing their money to help them, those that need a hand up, not a handout. So that's kind of a little bit of background. So I started this just in 9/11 2025. So a little bit over 5 months ago. I'm on pace on an annualized basis. Now I'll make this make sense. $2,500, you're going, okay, that's pretty cool. 2,500 on 15,000. But here's what's even cooler. It's only deployed of that 15,000, it's only deployed 10. So I still have $5,000 left over. So 2,500 on 10,000 in 5 months annualizes to 67, almost 68%. Where am I going to put my money, or in this case, my foundation's money, that is going to grow at that pace or better? Now, the reason why I bring up this example as well is people don't have a couple $100,000 to start. But you can see in a very short period of time, you can see that it's taken a couple of profits today. But this is another live trading account. It does what it does because it does what it does. That's all it does. It doesn't matter what example we give you. I told you, and I told you, and I told you, we would show you facts. We would show you live results. We would show you real results. They're not going to change. They're not, it doesn't work in one manner for us and a different manner for you. You saw Scott and a couple of others that have posted that are making profits while we're on this presentation. Okay, so let me take you to this. Can everybody see the calculator now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I gave you that preface very excitedly, and I'm sorry I get all wound up about it because this literally changes the future of not only the people that we serve, the people that my foundation serves, but it literally has changed the financial trajectory of the legacy that I'm building for my children's children. And it can do the same for you. So that's why I'm very passionate about showing you this. Now, Attila brought up something. We had a conversation earlier, and I said, he said, well, hey, let's show really small numbers to show people over time. Okay. So this is somebody that bought the trader. Now, these are examples, and I'll give you this calculator to play with, because once you get a hold of it, you'll go, oh my gosh, I did not realize that I now have the power to change my world and everybody else's world. Okay. $500. They paid for the trader. They started with $500. This is a 9-year plan. 9 years is going to pass, whether you do anything or not, at a 50% return. I just told you the trader I just showed you is running at a 67%. Oh, by the way, in a completely straight down market over the last 5 months. Those are real numbers. So I just did it conservatively. I changed it to 50% annually. And by the way, if this is the greatest thing ever, why wouldn't you find a way to shave your expenses and put a little bit more in every month? So in this example, $500 to start with, $250 a month over that 9-year period turns into $291,000. Now you go, well, wait a second. If I only start with $300 and I paid $3,500, I know your next question. Does it pay for the trader? Yes. Look here. You put in another $3,000. Okay. You've got $6,000 in, and it's worth almost $19,000. Again, this is an underperforming example of what it can do for you. And then if at the end of the year, if I say, listen, I'm going to give you, for every dollar you give me, I'm going to give you 3 back. Type in the chat how many dollars you would give me. And if it's not all them, then you really need to think your strategy about where you put your money, because people say, well, last 20 years, the stock market, or 50 years, the stock market's averaged 12%. That's laughable. Why is it laughable? Your money just last year lost 15% of its value. That's why I was joking with Mr. Barsano when he was holding up his found dollar, that it's no longer a dollar from when he found it. It's now 85% in purchasing power. It's not how much it's worth. It's how much can it buy in your life. All right, I'm going
Well,
off the rails.
not only that, I don't like when they say stuff like that, like the S&P averaged this much over 10 years or 15 years. What they're not telling you, or what they're not pointing out, is that it went all the way down one year and then came all the way back up the next year and then went higher. But it's like, I don't want to sustain those big negatives.
Right.
I don't want to watch my money go all the way down and then go all the way back up. And
Without
then
taking
not
advantage
only,
of.
but we'll make 10 times that with an auto trader because it's turning inventory constantly
Right.
as opposed to just buying and holding.
So let me give 2 more examples. What if I added a zero to this? You paid $3,500 discounted by $1,000. Now you can pay for it over time. You deploy more capital in. Now you got 5,000 to start instead of 500 to start. And then let's say you move that to $500 a month. Everybody, particularly when I push this button, should be able to find that, whether it's borrowing against your 401k, which is dead money that you can't touch until someday, right? Look what happens. It turns into $677,000. Now let's just give it, let me make one more change. $15,000, which is the example I just showed you in this trader. Okay. Started with 15,000, and we add $500 every month to that. That's $1.52 million. Okay. Let's say we go back to the 5, because then I'm going to make it really make sense to you. Okay. We'll change this back to 250, and then we'll get into the questions. Okay. So let's just say it turned into, that's how much you made, by the way. That's total interest. Your total value is $64,000. So let's say at the end of the 9 years, you're like, all right, I just want to go fish and listen to music and spend time with my friends. Because what is it? What's more important than making money? Your time.
Family.
What can you not make more of? Time. So you better figure out a way to accelerate all the hard work in the 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week that you're working now and put it to work. Attila mentioned it earlier. If your money's not making money on itself while you sleep, you're gonna work forever and you're gonna die poor. And you're not going to be able to leave a legacy to your children's children. All right.
You
So
know what? You mentioned 50%, which is a really small number in
it's
your return. If you really think about it, these coins have already dropped 90% and we're just loading up. I mean, what happens when you start making 1,000% returns? This
well,
is
what let's just
this is what the big boys are counting on. They're gonna make a fortune when this thing recovers.
but we're already shocking people's systems to the fact that there's something out there that actually works in their favor instead against them. So I'll do a calculation, but let me do this first. So let's just say you take 450,000, not the 460, right? And you go, all right, now I want to start living on it. Oh, by the way, you have one thing, the system never sells at a loss. Two, you have access to all of this cash flow. It's not like it's locked up. You can use it to live, as Ed said, the card that keeps giving back. So why not enjoy your life while you're making more money? And the 50%, so let's just change it to 1 year. Okay, I stopped giving money to it. Oops, forgot, put a zero in there. Okay. So that's $225,000 a year it spits out. And that's money that, let's just say I'm going to use that money. So I don't have that calculator. I got to use this one. 225,000 divided by 12. That is passive income of $18,750 a month without ever touching the $450,000. Let's just say you started another trader and put that $450,000 in there. I'm going to give you this calculator so you can dream about what it can do for you. But these are real numbers. Math does nothing but math. It doesn't lie. So, Mr. Barsano, what do you want to start with? 15,000 or let's just say $5,000. And since
Yeah,
you
I've
thought,
seen people start with $500 and then add $100 a month. I mean, we have clients that do that, and
okay,
in a year they've contributed 1,700, and then the auto trader pushed that to over 3,000 or close to 3,000, and then every year it just starts multiplying. I mean, young
okay,
people do that. They start with hardly nothing and just
yeah,
add
you
a
want
hundred
to pay for
dollars a
your
month.
children's college? Then all right, give me a percentage rate that you think is not conservative. And I can let me preface that by saying your
Well,
original
that's
trader.
extremely I think 50% is extremely conservative.
Okay,
What you
so
look at is the profits taken. Quit looking at the account balance because
Right.
that's just the price of the coin
right.
going up and down. The profits taken is what's important. How much am I taking off the table?
So let me give people a reference point. Your original trader that you put $200,000 into. Yes, I realize 200,000 is a lot of money. But in December 19th, 2021 to December 19th of 2025, so 4 year
Oh,
period.
all right. That one's over
Your
nine
your
nine hundred
trader
thousand.
your trader made 5x your money with all that profit, all that it took that you have access to, right? So all right, for your example, I'm not going to put it at 100,000, but let's just say because 5x, I mean that's that over that 4 year period of time, that's 125% on your money. Okay, let's just make it 75%. Your $500 over 9 years, 75%. You add $100 a month. That is still $17,000 a month in passive income without touching that because that one now is sitting in another trader that's making another 75%, and then that compounds into the other one. So if that's enough dreaming, but this is real. This is real, right? I'm
Okay,
gonna I'm,
guys.
I'm gonna give you this calculator. Bear with me. It's gonna be a very, very long string. Okay.
Okay, while you do that, Edward, I'm going to start on the Q&A because we're way behind on that. There's 10 questions. So,
Got it.
Ed
All right.
Barsano, Ed Barsano, first question from Jeff. Hi, guys. Please explain hiding the sell orders. I don't know what you
The
mean by
auto trader is tracking all of them. The auto trader is tracking all the numbers. There's nothing sitting at the exchange. There's nothing sitting there in public view. The auto trader is tracking it all. We only submit the limit order at the time that the trader says it's I want to physically do the sell. So it's almost like a market order because the prices are already there. They're already where they need to be. So when we submit that limit order, it just gets filled. We're not submitting limit orders while we're out of the money. We're submitting limit orders while we're already in the money. I know,
Good answer.
genius, right?
Yeah, good job. Okay, John's got a two-part question. John R. I'm planning on purchasing Go Baby Trade any day now. Just to be clear, if I install the program in a time period of rising prices, will Go Baby Trade start to immediately buy tokens and sell and make profit for me, even if I have no previous activity since I just purchased it? Hopefully that question is clear. But then he's got a second one where he clarifies and he says, or should I just wait to purchase when prices are dipping in order to establish the lots or whatever they are
Never.
called? No.
You
If
don't
you,
have a crystal ball. You don't know when prices
yeah,
are dipping. A
that's
coin
right.
can jump up 75% tomorrow. It can jump up 50%. I've seen coins jump up 150% in one day. The name of the game is just get in the game, let the
Get in the
game
game.
begin. Don't try to second guess. I don't care, whether the prices are higher or lower. None of it means anything to me. It's just numbers going up and down. The sooner you get in, the sooner you start the game. Because you
Time,
actually want the market to be crashing. It's a benefit to you if you can buy and the coins go lower and you can add more inventory.
yeah,
Adding inventory is where it's at. Like I said, if you jump in right when things are getting ready to go up, then you only have one lot. You just bought it and then you sell it. You didn't, all right, you made a little bit of money, but you're not going to get rich doing that.
John,
Building inventory, that's why it's a gift that we could actually load up while things are going the wrong way.
right. Hey, John, what you're trying to do is time the market, and that's very almost impossible to do. So,
Not
it,
almost impossible, it's impossible.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, you could certainly wait, but what you're going to end up doing, if you remember the store Sharper Image years ago, they had all kinds of fancy stuff there. You're going
I
to end up
remember them, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to end up going to their catalog and ordering a butt kicking machine because and you're going to use it on yourself, and you're going to be sorry you didn't start it ASAP. Just get in the game. Get in the game. It's that simple. It works. This is not, folks. If you're new here, this is not. Does it work? Can it work? Will it work? It's been working 25 years, really, really
It
well.
works every day. I mean, the coins dropped 7% 2 days ago. They went up 10% today. We sold them at a profit. This isn't rocket science. This is just commerce.
Yeah. Edward, you want to grab Walter's question?
Sure. Walter, first of all, thanks for submitting the question. Says I have a question for Mr. Barsano. I have a trader with settings set to 35 lots with
Good.
some coins at 28 and 30 lots bought. My setting is also at 3% buys and 4% sells. Those coins are not buying at 3%. They seem to be waiting for the 10 to 12% drop before they buy a lot. Is my
It's based
trader
on the
not
entry price,
okay?
your top lot. It's not based on when I buy it, say I already own 4 lots. You're thinking it's adding on a 3% drop from this bottom one, the most recent buy. It's adding on 3% drops based on where you started.
Mm,
Yeah. And
that
then
answers a good question.
yeah, so that's why you can see it in my trader too. I'm like 7% down on one, 11% down, and it's still not buying. Why not? Because it's basing it on the initial lot. If you base the entry on the bottom lot, on each bottom lot, the number will be the declining number. It'll keep getting smaller and smaller because the price of the coin is getting smaller and smaller. It's basing it on fixed lots from the top. That's why. I get that question a
Great,
lot. And you
great
know
question.
what?
Actually,
You know what?
that
So many, you'd be surprised, even me. Sometimes I'll go up to my son. He's been programming these for about 15 years now, right? Since high school. He's a master programmer. and he has a biochem degree. He could work anywhere. He's a master programmer. Sometimes I go in there and I say, Steven, draw this out for me again. Because this is not, for the faint of heart. I mean, it's complicated stuff. And it really is. And that's why I say I don't have any competitors, man, because this is not easy. But yeah, it's exactly how I explained it. It's not based on the bottom lot. You're thinking the bottom lot, the one I just bought went down 3%. Why didn't it just buy it? You'd be trading in pennies if that happened, if we were doing that.
Right.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, sir. All right.
You're welcome.
Brian says, where did you click on the coin symbol to show all of what you had holding
Ah,
in reserve? Right. That's a good question. Most people don't know that. So
Just
yep.
click on the plus on the main
Yeah.
screen.
yeah.
Here you go. Wait a second. Let me bring up mine and I'll show you really
Now
quickly.
I believe ours is not as detailed as yours, Ed, right?
Well, however many lots. No, it's the same, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get there.
There may be a
Um,
few fields in there that I use for debugging or whatever. There's always.
there we go. All right. So, all right, let me move that.
Oh,
Okay. All you do is click on the plus sign and it gives you every lot with every detail. As a matter of fact, all the way down to the detail of how much further does it have to move, but 4 zeros plus 0.98 for it to take this as to take this as a profit,
Before it
right?
takes profit, right?
Right.
And
So
look up above. Look at next estimated declining trade price and volume right in the middle. No, up in the
this
middle.
one.
There.
Okay.
It's
Yep.
actually telling you when it's going to buy more. It's saying the
mhm.
current price has to drop from 3502 to 3024 before
And
it
it's telling
actually.
you how many more it's going to buy.
Right, right. And these are estimated numbers because the numbers are always changing.
Right.
But it's giving you a ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great question. That was a good. I don't think we've gotten that one ever.
No, we haven't. And what do you always say, Ed? This is not a black box. This is 100% transparency.
Yeah, I'm not hiding anything from anybody. I mean, it's millions of lines of code if you want to try to do it. I've had competitors that tried to create auto traders, and man, they just got wiped out. All through the
Paul's.
years, I see people come on board, and I go, "Oh, he's trying to do what I'm doing." It's like, "Oh, I feel bad for him
This
because
is
he doesn't get it, and then he loses all the client's money."
this is an interesting question. I haven't really even thought of this, but Ed, Paul Straw is asking. He
Oh, one
says,
second, I got a call from my wife.
"Sure, sure,
Uh-oh.
no problem. Got to answer that one."
Got to answer that one.
Yeah, glad we were able to answer that for you.
Yep.
Also, Scott's glad that we answered that.
Yeah. While Ed's away for a second, let me do some housekeeping. Make
Yeah,
sure everybody's got the tools that they need. So
right.
I'm just putting in the chat now. If you've got technical questions, you can send them to support@gobabytrade.com. If they're everyday questions and or if you go, hey, I want to buy the trader, but I'm not sure how to set it up, send us a note to support it at rctmarketingsystems.com, and we will happily set a Zoom appointment with you, and you can do that. Now, the third is a hyperlink that goes to the frequently asked questions. Anybody that either asked a question now or didn't get it answered or has questions later, you can go to this link, which, by the way, is also embedded in Casey's, because I'm going to put her exclusive discount link in here where you can do your own research, and the frequently asked questions are in there as well. And then one more thing. So you can expect that Zoom is going to send you a link to the recording of this within the next 48 hours. But we also do our very best to post it on our website, which is post that here now. Not our website, I'm sorry, on our YouTube channel. I would ask a favor is keep an eye on this. The favor is that go there, if you would please subscribe and put the notification bell on. That way, as soon as we post it, you'll get it. And if we subscribe, we'll love you twice as much, because then that allows us to provide bigger, better content for you in the future. And just for future reference, financial intelligence for you is all about teaching you bigger, better things. A lot of the stuff that I talked about that I can't openly share, we'll be able to. We're going to be doing masterminds and things like that to share the larger picture, as well as don't distract yourself from the fact that you've just been presented with the opportunity of a lifetime that allows you right now, not next week, right now, the ability to change the trajectory of your financial future. So,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
yep.
Okay,
So
so
Paul,
what I wanted to say about my wife, when your wife calls, you answer.
Oh, when you walked away, we said, can't miss that. Can't miss that call.
That's right. That's right. I was, that's the number one. More important than anything in the world.
Two
Okay,
most important
44
words in
years
the
of
English
marriage.
language. Two most important words in the English language when you're married are what?
yes, honey.
Do what your wife says.
Yes, dear.
What I did is I actually locked the inside of the garage door when she left out of habit. Just locked it, and she didn't have a key to open it. She could pull into the garage, but she couldn't open the garage.
Oh
Ah,
my.
So
All
that's
right.
that.
Well, we got two
That was all
questions
about.
left. Paul Straw is asking an interesting one, Ed. He says, since Coinbase is adding stocks, will that be available in our crypto trader? Not sure how hard that will be to add. I just noticed that Coinbase is giving the option.
So what was the option?
The Coinbase is adding stocks where they could, on Coinbase, you could buy stocks now.
Oh no, we
Yeah.
won't.
Okay.
It's we. I mean, you would have to use TradeStation if you have a. You'd have to get another auto trader. We have stock traders also that are exactly like the crypto trader or
Right.
very
I think Paul
close.
knows that. He was just saying, since it's on a crypto exchange, the ability to buy stocks, will that be able
Well,
to?
I mean, if they do it, if they put like silver as SLV in the stock market, if they create a coin called SLV, there are coins that are I mean, there are some, coins that are silver, related, but Coinbase doesn't seem to have them. They
Okay.
don't seem to have them available.
So he says, so can we trade silver? Where I'm paper trading silver actually on the stock trader, and it's doing amazingly well. So you can trade silver with the stock trader.
Oh
Can
man,
Cle
we've had people trading silver for 15 years, almost 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. This may explain why my trader has not closed lots based on which lot is preset drop. What? That's a confusing
yeah,
question.
he was saying that explains why he's thinking the trader's going to take a profit, but it hasn't, based on Ed's explanation of adding on 3% drops from the top, not the bottom.
Adding, well, adding the No, no, no. It's taking profits based on the bottom. It's not
Right.
adding
It's
going
not
on
adding.
that.
Right.
It's not adding based on the bottom. But if the bottom lot is 3% or 5%, whatever you have it set at, it's adding the trade fees to that.
Right.
So if your profit goal is 5%, it's adding like 1% to the profit goal. So it's really looking for 6% profit.
Got it. Got it.
Oh, that's pretty much it for the questions. If anybody else has another question left, please speak now or forever hold your voice.
Well, I'd like to hear any if we have a minute. What are the negatives? I would like to hear what scares. Some of you don't have an auto trader, I assume, and I'd like to hear what scares you because I've been dealing with this for 25 years, and I really like to understand the psyche of what is stopping people from getting a money machine, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, we're right at the 2 hour mark, but let's do something we haven't done before, Ed. For the new people that have never seen that, this is their first time here and completely inundated with great information. I'm going to ask you. We'll probably take two or three questions maybe over the next 5 minutes. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand, and I'm going to promote you to be able to ask your question of Mr. Barsano live, or us. You can ask us questions as well. So if you want to raise your hand, I'll call on you. I'll set you live, and you can ask your question. And if you would, contain it just to the new folks, and don't be shy. I mean, we're
We're big
all
boys.
right. Yeah, well, I mean, I put my pants on just like everybody else backwards.
Oh, I'm
So
not wearing any, during
yeah,
the Zoom.
too much information. So while we're waiting for people to raise their hands, and I'll make that call a couple more times before we say good evening to everybody. I also just posted a link for our private client group. Excuse me. It is a community that a lot of you are already members of, but it's a free community for now where we do announcements and it puts people in a position where unlike just communicating in the chat here, you can communicate, you can ask questions, we interact, we issue reports on a weekly basis of what's happening in the market. So it's a great place to get with like-minded people. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything to do that, so you can click on that link. Ken, Ken, you are a repeat offender, but you're the only one that raised your hand. Um, so I'm going to allow you to talk. Kenneth, you are
Hear me?
live.
There he is.
Okay, I was just checking on that. I was wanting to ask the question about the percent drop on the coin, and I was just thinking that my trader hadn't done anything, and I thought I've seen the percentages change in the trader, and it may be based on which last coin it used for the top coin to drop the percentage down. And that was my question was, and I raised my hand about that. That was what that was.
Got
And
it.
I appreciate your answer. And I've had a lot of things, and I had to add some money into my trader about a week ago or so ago, and that may have made a difference in how it worked. But
Hmm.
I'm a bit pleased with it. It's brought me some money, and continue to do so. And I understand that the market is not helping us at all right now. It's dropping and just
No, it is helping you. Down
It's
is
helping.
good.
Where?
adding lots to it, but I was just thinking about adding and also trading on that. But I understand that, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and I appreciate y'all and all that y'all do, and Crypto Casey too. I enjoy working with her, and so it's great to work in this
Yeah,
thing.
we
And
love Crypto Casey. We
yeah,
are thrilled to have you as part of the group.
Yeah, and,
thank you.
and Ken, you mentioned something important here a minute ago. For those of you that are new, Ken mentioned adding money to his trader. Here's the beautiful thing. When you want to have the trader trade with more money, when you add it to your own Coinbase or Kraken account, that's it. Yeah, the trader will automatically pick that up and see that you've added money. You don't even need to do anything else. So it's pretty cool in that regard too.
And let me
Yeah,
say
that's
one
actually
thing.
a
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say that's actually a very good point. Because when I talked about the my nonprofit, is that we have an ACH that simply pulls $500 into the operating account or pulls it into the Coinbase account into USDC, and we don't have to do anything other than watch it make money. Go ahead, Ed.
Awesome.
Ken, thank you.
No,
I love you, but I'm gonna demote you in case anybody else has got a question.
I was just gonna say that, as far as adding money, you know, I get tempted sometimes, like the other day when all the coins dropped 7%. So beautiful because they all dropped 7% each, and a few dropped 8%. I just thought that was so institutional. You could just see that's an institutional drop. And
Yeah.
it's just gonna bounce right back. And a lot of times, I get tempted to say, why don't I just buy $50,000 of each of those coins? But I I hang on and I say, you know what? Let the auto trader do what it does.
Thank
And
you.
don't do it. I
Thank you.
just don't, there's no reason because if you use up a lot of the money that the software had already allocated, that's the thing. Some people say, I want my auto trader using all my money. It is using it in its math, but it's not putting it all into the coins yet. Because if you put it all in up here and then the coins drop, you're what I call top heavy. And then you've used up money that the software could have used down below, and you start buying in smaller lot sizes down below because it doesn't have the money that it thought it had when you started out. It had this big bucket of money that it was going to use all the way down to the bottom, and then you use it all up at the top, and then it doesn't have it for down below. And you
So
start
Ed,
trading in much smaller lot sizes. So try not to do manual trades.
no, don't do anything manual. The reason we have a robotic autonomous trader is so that you don't have to do anything. We
I mean,
simplify your life. All you need to do is go on there as many times as you'd like per day or per week and see what the results are. That's it.
I look at the auto trader, like it's a toaster. Do you mess with it? And when you mess with it, what happens? You turn that, you say, well,
You
it's
burn
not
your
quite,
toast.
you
You
burn
burn
your
toast.
toast, right? Or it doesn't come out, cooked enough. You know, the same thing, you don't mess with your dishwasher or your washing machine or
Well,
your
Ed,
dryer. You just simply, and that's how I look at the auto trader. You just throw it, do it, turn it, let it do what it does.
hey Ed, I remember I gave a couple weeks ago the analogy of when the Apollo, I don't know which Apollo it was, but let's say it's Apollo 11 and you're going up to the moon. And the engineers at NASA tell the astronauts, don't touch anything. Everything is preset. And the rocket takes off and these guys start making adjustments on the on that would be I don't think they'd reach the moon. They'd be in some other galaxy. You know
I
what
think
I'm
they're adjusting the volume on the TV or something.
saying?
All right,
Man.
we got a couple of hands raised. John, I'm going to
All
call on you.
right.
Scott, I'm not going to forget about you.
I love a good
But
Q&A.
let me
Thanks.
let me give John, because I think John is relatively new with us, but I'll get to you as well, Scott. John, go ahead. You're live. Hopefully, you meant to raise your hand.
Okay. All right. You can hear me, guys?
We can
Yep.
hear
Yeah.
you. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Well, anyway, I really appreciate all you guys. I'm finally going to be buying it. I won't tell you when the first time I heard Crypto Casey talk about it.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna say
anyway,
6 months ago. I know it.
you know, and you're doing me no favors, and you keep going on like, okay, I missed this. You missed all these lots. You missed all this inventory. You missed all
I'm just rubbing it in.
But no, look, it's got to go down. We got a green day. It better not go up green like 3 weeks in a row now, guys. Anyway.
Well, don't wait another day. All I can say, John, is
Yeah, yeah,
congratulations
Yeah.
on
yeah,
doing
yeah.
your
None
homework.
of us are
It's
salesmen.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I
as
know.
long as it took you to make the
So,
decision.
yeah,
Once you step over that line, you will. And I hope you've gotten a lot out of what you've seen
yeah,
today
yeah.
in
I'm going to
previous weeks.
continue. I'm going to continue with these weekly things. I haven't been
Yeah,
there every week, but I'm going to definitely continue because you always learn something new.
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah,
say that.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
just to verify that, I don't need my handheld, so quote unquote, for but with this, but it will be okay, like you said, to if I arrange a Zoom call just to make sure everything's
No
kosher, everything's
problem.
cool with the,
Not a
No
problem.
problem.
either with
Absolutely.
Edward, Ed, or Attila, either. Okay, okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
me,
okay,
or me too. You can send email
okay,
to support@gobabytrade.com, and we
okay.
always help everybody. We don't leave you hanging. We help you make sure your auto trader is set up perfectly in paper trade mode. And then
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
when
exactly.
we
Yeah,
help you go live. And as soon as you go live, it just starts trading because
Yeah.
all the settings are already set. You already have your coins that you want to trade, and
yeah.
it just takes off.
Hey John,
Yeah, and
fun.
just to be sort of reassured that it's the proper coin. I mean, I know I listened to you enough where the proper coins they seem to be set. You have a lot of experience with it, and there's still the psychology. Okay, wait a minute, do you really want a meme coin in there like SHIB, or do but you guys know what you're doing, so I'll just
Hey, John, our philosophy was that whenever I've made a larger purchase in my life, I hate the fact that I don't have somebody to contact when a question comes up. I've got to talk to either
exactly,
AI or a live
exactly.
chat. It's
Yeah,
not the same.
I hate
no,
those.
So Ed Barsano has been helping people live for as long as he's been doing this, and Edward and I committed to Crypto Casey that if somebody has a question, they need help with setup, we're there on a Zoom. We just need to coordinate. That's it.
Yeah.
yeah, and
John,
I've been in
I learn.
crypto. Yeah, sorry, go
I
ahead.
learn from everyone I talk to, and
Yeah.
because I want to see what dumb things you're gonna do, and I want to be able to fix them. But I learn from everybody. I learned some good stuff and I learned some bad stuff, and it's
Okay,
cool.
you're
I
just
learned what
stay
not to
tuned.
do.
You'll learn the dumb things from me then. Just so stay tuned.
John, John, we appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. Anytime. And please
Thanks,
do
John.
join us going forward. I've got to demote you to give Scott a chance, and
Okay.
Scott is going to be our last. Scott is a repeat offender, but we love everybody equally.
Scott's
So
a good
Scott,
man.
Scott, you're live, but you're muted. There you go. Scott, you with us?
Take, take it away, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Maybe his
well,
mic's on the fritz.
maybe his audio is not working. Okay, now
You
you're
might be
muted
on the
again.
East Coast, they got all those storms going on.
Right, right.
No, I don't think he's in the East Coast. I've spoken to Scott. I think he's in Texas.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We
Yes.
can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. You wanted to know why when I watched about two or three Zoom calls and I was real hesitant simply because I did not know you. And I've been scammed before in my life.
We all have.
We
But
all
the
have.
reason I finally took the plunge and took the chance was because I'd been following Crypto Casey for 2 years and I trusted her. But I
Mhm.
will tell the people out there who are wondering, is this really real? I've been in it for 6 months and oh my gosh, it is absolutely real. I wish
Oh,
everybody would buy one of these. I'm 67. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah,
And
very
so I
different.
What
would
a
encourage people that look, it is real. Try it. You
yeah.
won't regret it. That's
What a
it.
testimonial, Scott. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those kind words.
Yep.
all right.
And
We'll
then,
pay you later. We'll pay you later for
yeah,
that.
no, we won't. We won't. We'll pay you in continued education. But you know what, Scott? That means so much to us because as you see us week after week after week after week, we are here first to educate people as as you experienced your path until you went, okay, these guys are square, right? We wouldn't be hanging around for now, what, 18 months doing this every week and quite frankly, multiple times a week for multiple audiences if we were out to take your money. There's nothing more powerful than what you just shared with the audience. And we're so happy and proud to have you as part of this community. And we'd like to say that on behalf of Ed Barsano, he's given us all the opportunity and the blessing to be able to be where you are now. So much appreciated.
And we enjoy it. We're having fun. I enjoy
Yeah,
doing this every week too.
yeah,
And I like a good
Yep.
Q&A. This was nice to be
This
able
was
to
a
yeah,
stick
good one.
around.
This was a
yeah.
good one. Yeah. So, guys, we're here every Wednesday on behalf of Crypto Casey's audience. So, we'll be back next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we want to thank you again for being here today. Thank you for the participation for those of you that did. And all I could say is go forth and multiply your money using that Go Baby trade. We'll see you next week. Edward, any parting words?
Uh, I'll end as I started. Thank you for the privilege of your time. You've honored us by spending time with us. I hope you walk away, those that join us on a regular basis, and particularly those are here for the first time. It's a blessing for us to be able to bless you. So I get a kick out of this. As a matter of fact, Ed always says, "Man, I'm so looking forward to Wednesday at 2 o'clock." So not to speak for him, but to speak for me, Mr. Barsano, as I always try and give you your just due, and thank you for changing the trajectory the financial trajectory of my family and me, and the opportunity um, to put a well-funded trader into the hands of my kids, so that even when I'm gone, it's still making them money for their life. So much appreciated.
Ed, any parting words?
Well, I just wanted to say, while Ed was talking, he mentioned a few things about, it anyways, it triggered my brain to think of you don't need a lot of money to do this, I mean, once you have an auto trader, I mean, I see people starting with $500 and just adding $100 a month, and after a few years they are on
Yeah.
their way. They're in the 8,000, on
Yep,
their
you
way
saw the
literally.
numbers.
And so it's just a matter of getting started. And once you get started, you're going to be comfortable anyways. You're going to have an auto trader. It's kind of cool. It's like, again, finding money on the ground. It just feels good to just, I mean, I woke up today and there was $1,000 sitting there of free money. And I'm like, thanks. I didn't
Yeah.
do it. I didn't plan it. I didn't do anything for it. The auto trader did it all. So,
Yeah.
everybody in the world should have an auto trader. So when you ask, well, if that was real, everybody would have it. I don't know why they don't. Everybody should. But anyways, it was a blast. So go Navy, everybody.
Well,
All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Much appreciated, and this was fun.
and what's your normal parting words? Go forth and
Go forth and multiply your money with Go Baby Trade.
with that, thanks
Nice.
everybody. See you soon.
Bye bye.